This was without question one of the coolest gadgets of 2024. We gave it a big award on the EFTM magazine last year. It was a $300 drone that followed you without needing a controller. Well, this is the follow-up gadget, the DJI Neo2. And for $409, it's a bit more expensive, but I think they've hit it out of the park with this one. So let me put them side by side and kind of give you a sense of exactly what we're dealing with here. So you can see straight away, there's a size difference, right? So there's your camera at the front for each. This one's slightly bigger. It has these crazy antennas, but you'll also notice here, there's an optical sensor, shall we call it? And underneath, some more radical changes. There were some optical sensors here, but now we've got this one. And then on the front of the DJI Neo2 are these two kind of, they look like screens. This is, I believe, a LiDAR sensor, and this is a little digital screen. And I've got to say, it makes all the difference. So one of the problems, if you want to call it that, with this guy was you were kind of scrolling through the buttons going, what setting am I in? And then you had to press and hold it to let it go and do its thing. This one now does a lot more speaking to you, and on the screen, it tells you what mode it's in and what it's going to do. I don't know that you'll be able to see that when I power it up and bring it to the get the screen working, but you'll see there, if we just get it to focus, yeah, you can broadly see that. So they're the modes. Now on the side of the device here are also a range of buttons. So instead of a button on top, we've now got 3 buttons here. These two toggle through the menus, and this one is essentially the accept or start recording. So you'll see here, when I bring it up, you can see there what mode it's in, and if I flick through that, it'll go through all the different shoot modes. Rocket. And obviously, you'll see those as you're starting to shoot, because it does these ones, you know? It launches off your hand and lands on your hand in the same way. Once you're in a mode, you can choose the near or far version of it and all those different things. You'll also notice quite clearly on this device, there's a completely different set of rotor blades. So these ones just had rotor kind of protection on top. There was some you could clip on here. These are essentially also clip on, but they're a bit more robust and usable. I haven't even thought of taking them off, to be honest, because the flight has been easy, and yeah, I just haven't bothered because it's worked perfectly. There's a bunch that I've been filming on this. Now, first and foremost, my favorite thing about the DJI Neo2 as well is its ability to cancel out its own sound. Now, I want you to have a listen to this video here. This is me walking with a Rode microphone, not a DJI, just to test whether it worked with anything, plugged into my iPhone using the DJI Fly app. I'm only holding my phone because I've linked my microphone to the phone. And I haven't used a DJI microphone, so I'm wondering if that makes a difference. Now, to really demonstrate that, what I wanted to do was demonstrate a couple of things at the same time. So the first one I wanted to do was demonstrate how I'm using the app to determine how it follows me. Now, I don't know whether the original did this because I didn't really play with the app much, but on this one in the app, you can choose whether you want it to follow from behind. Basically, you've got increments around the clock face of where you want the drone to be as it follows you. So you can actually have it following you in front on an angle as you walk, or in front of you. And what I found fascinating was trying that out and seeing how it reacted when I turned. And in this same clip, you'll see a clear comparison of the audio. Now, if you listen closely, you'll hear when I'm in kind of drone audio, you won't hear the buzzing. And that's essentially the app taking the microphone that I was using and cancelling out what it could hear as drone noise. So you can actually kind of tell there's a bit of artificialness to the way it's processed that audio. But then when you listen to the iPhone audio that I was recording while I was videoing the drone, you'll realize how important that cancellation is. Well, I feel like I need to video what I'm seeing so you can see what I'm seeing. And also, hopefully through this phone, you might hear the sound of what I'm seeing. This is the Neo2 from DJI. Now, I've asked it to follow me, but in front. How does it know where's in front? Well, if I turn the corner, what happens? And I'm now walking this way. Is it going to reposition? Yes, it does. So it now repositions so it knows this is in front. So I've told it I want it to follow, but in front, which is a very cool thing. Now, I'll just stop this one for a second, and I'll say to you that the cancellation of the sound of the drone is actually pretty unique. It's a pretty important feature of this because it's a very annoying buzzing sound. Now, what I can also do here, which I think is new to the Neo2, is hand control. So I can give it my hand now, and it will take gestures from me, so I can make it come closer. I can make it go backwards and make it come closer. And with a single hand, I can make it go higher or lower. That's very cool. And again, I'll just bring it closer to me. All of that without having a controller, without using a phone, without doing anything. Really, really neat. And I'm really happy I did that demonstration. So obviously you can buy it with the controller or without. You can buy it with extra batteries or without. So there's a bunch of different modes you can go. But they are also selling these, the goggles and hand stick controller. I'm going to tell you straight away, haven't opened them because it's illegal. If you're in Australia and you got one of these things, it's illegal to fly a drone with goggles on, because if you don't have personal line of sight view of the drone, it's illegal. So I can't endorse you buying those things. Do what you want with the rules and flirt the regulations as you like. I'm not going to help you in beating those regulations. Overall though, there's another really important thing to test on that, and this is all this sensors and antennas to see how good its obstacle avoidance is. So have a look at this, where the drone follows me and has to deal with a few pretty reasonable obstacles. Now with the Neo2, we've got 3 buttons underneath, which I can kind of feel with my thumb, and I can go through the modes. Plus there's a little screen here, which you'll struggle to see, but
selfie shot,
it goes through the modes.
Circle, rocket.
So I can choose
Follow.
What it is that I want to follow. I can click yes to a
Rocket.
follow. Nope. We want to go follow. Third button.
Front, follow.
Front follow.
3, 2,
It's going to initiate.
1.
And we're rolling. And that's following in front. Now, I actually still have the app set up on my phone. I wonder if it's still running. Yes, it is. So that's the app there. I'm going to make it go beside me. So you'll see there it's gone beside me. Let's raise it up a bit. So just using the app, I've changed a couple of the settings. And now it's going to follow alongside of me. Of course, I can make it come behind me as well. So now the video is from behind me. Now, I'm not going to watch it, right? But I can still see what's happening. But this thing has obstacle avoidance as well built in. And you can see it working on that now because there was these railings. So it's working through the obstacle avoidance. So let's give it a bit of a challenge here. Let's walk through these trees right here and see how it copes. Hey, that did a pretty good job. Now, a standout new feature of the Neo2 is even more controls without the controller. Everything you've seen in this video, I didn't even use the controller. Yeah, I can use the controller here to fly around as I like, but when you're out and about, you want to not have to take the controller. So what you can do now is you can initiate, very similar to how Samsung have that, put a 5 up and it'll start counting down for a selfie. Well, what you can do, if the drone is flying and in front of you, you can put your hand up and it'll go into essentially gesture mode. And once you do that, you push your hand up in the air. If you watch this example, it'll fly up. Bring your hand down, it'll fly down. Put 2 hands up like this, move them apart, it will fly away from you, as you can see. Move them together, it will fly towards you. Awesome, very, very cool. Such a great way to control the drone, and a nice little handy feature. Of course, you can still do all of the quick shot movements they've got set up. You can do a droney. Yeah, what's it? A droney. This is like a video selfie. Gotta love a, droney photo or video. And there's a million other options as well, including the circle. I love the circle, and here you can see me doing the circle shot, but with the app, I've just done an overlay of what the app shows. And you need to have the app running while you run the drone if you're doing the audio. So if you're trying to record your voice through a microphone, the app needs to stay running. If you just fly the drone on its own, there'll be no audio at all. The circle. So this will now do a circle around me. So theoretically, I could be standing here and it'll do a little circle around me here. Now, the critical thing here, having now listened back to the first video I've recorded, is you can't hear the buzzing of the drone. Look, I absolutely adore this as a gadget, as a piece of technology. This just blows it out of the park. I mean, it's got this weird kind of bug-like look to it with these kind of antennas here, but that's actually the back of it. It's just a great looking drone. It's still super lightweight, so it fits under all the low weight regulations you require. And because of its obstacle avoidance, it really does a great job. I might even have a video here, if we kept it, of my son running our backyard and coming underneath a tree branch, and it went under them as well. Got to say, very impressive obstacle avoidance for a drone that is flying itself. The Neo2 will be $409 in Australia. So, you know, it's $110 more than previous generation. But I think just at looking at it, you can see the $110 in it, just in sensors alone. Another master stroke from DJI. Jesus, they do some good stuff.